Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Becky Nakamura, and I am the owner operator of Key Waves of Key Energy Work. I am a Reiki master, a shamanic Reiki practitioner, and a crystal singing bowl sound therapy practitioner. For those of you who are not familiar with shamanic Reiki, I incorporate different shamanic tools in with my Reiki sessions, such as accessing your Akashic records, using crystals, the native drum, rattle, tuning forks, and healing feathers. I may also include some shamanic coaching in with my sessions. I do Reiki sessions in person or online, either through Zoom or through Skype. Being somewhere else in the world is not an issue, as I have clients in Norway, Sweden, Colombia, Vancouver, and here in Alberta, Canada. And my guest today is Tina Thrussell. She is one of my co-collaborators, or one of my fellow collaborators in Spiritual Networking YYC, networking group here in Calgary. We are collaborators along with Sandy Dacey and Adele Bernard. And so I would like to now welcome Tina in. To my session, and we can discuss. Tina? Oh, okay. Well, until Tina's able to join me, I'll give you some background on the Spiritual Networking YYC. We also call it SNY. I'm not sure what that was about. So we meet once a month. And for a while there, it was the first Friday of every month. However, we are looking at some scheduling changes. And so we will be discussing some of that. And then as well, that if we can get input from some of our community members with the Spiritual Networking YYC group, we can decide from there as to what the best Friday is going to be. We, within our group, we have, it is not limited just to healing energy workers. It is also open to, we have chiropractors, we have mediums, we have some people who are just interested in spirituality. The beautiful part about our group is that you can discuss all of this without feeling that you are a bit of a woo, that what we're talking about is woo-woo, because we all resonate with the energy work. We all resonate with different aspects of spirituality in the different dimensions. And we are open to learning what other people have to offer and hearing about their spiritual journey and what we could learn from their journey. We don't always necessarily have to be going through it ourselves. So up until now, when spiritual networking started back last fall, it was we carried it on from Leslie Vivian's Enchanting Mystical Moments. Leslie had started enchanting the networking luncheons for Enchanting Mystical Moments about 3 years ago, and she got and built up quite the network, and she had people coming on to speak. Sometimes there was 1 to 2 people that would be speaking during her luncheons. At other times, there were people coming, like giving people who are part of the group who did not maybe have very much speaking experience to come on and speak for 5 or 10 minutes, talking about either what their offering was, their giveaway to the world. It was also sometimes talking about their spiritual journey, uh, what they had learned, what their interests were. And as well, the people that she had in her group, they range from Reiki, acupuncture, mediums, shamanic practitioners. And so we had the opportunity to be exposed to a wide variety and a wide spectrum of spiritual practices. So it was the opportunity to expand our world, to expand our understanding of what is out there and what may resonate with us and what may appeal to us. And as well, there were people there who also maybe had some products such as crystals, or uh, we have Back to Nature with Kelty Masters and her husband Stan, and they have the different animals on their clothing. And so it was maybe your spirit animal that you wanted to have with you, and that you maybe wore on a piece of their apparel. We have people who provide essential oils, who sell essential oils. They are also members of our community. We also have a lady who is a mortgage broker. And the beautiful part about her is she is doing it from a place of heart. She's doing it from a place of compassion. So she really wants to align with her clients and help them to understand and to get the best possible um, uh, mortgage agreement contract that is in their best interest as well as the lender. So it's just the different dynamics, the different giveaways, offerings that those members of our community have for us. And the beautiful part is we are all open to what everybody has to offer. We also have some of the discussions that we have had a lady who teaches dance, and her journey. Her name is Nicole Pemberton, and her journey from wanting to heal herself, and so she started it through that. And as she got more into it, she learned how to offer healing to others. And so her dance classes, her methods of being able to help people to express themselves, to work through dance and through movement, pain and trauma that they may have experienced in their lifetime, and to help to shift it and to heal or release that trauma is very, very beautiful, very empowering. Because it is within our own body, so we can carry that healing and that ability to help ourselves forward, and that we know that we were that instrument. We've had other practitioners who have come on, and it has always been, from what I have seen, is that for many of us, it is through our own healing, through our desire to heal ourselves, and through that self-healing that we have realized that we also have that gift to help others on their healing journey, so that we can empower them to be healthy, to release those things that no longer serve us in this lifetime, and to step into a place of self-love, of self-care, of self-appreciation, self-deservement, of acknowledging how special each and every one of us are, and being able to continue forward on our life path to to be healthier, to heal, and through healing ourselves, that we are helping others to heal. And so there's that reciprocal relationship, as we help others to heal, we are also helping ourselves. The Spiritual Networking YYC is a very special group. And we have been doing, with COVID for a while there, during the winter, we were doing our sessions online, and having different speakers on, and inviting our community to join us on the Zoom meetings. Once summer came, we moved our luncheons out to the park, to Pierce Estate Park, which is in, I think it's southeast Calgary. It's just off of Deerfoot and 17th Avenue, southeast, going towards the zoo. We've had really good turnouts. In our July session, Judy Armstrong was our speaker, and lovely lady, showing us how she brings healing through laughter, and helping us, and through singing and through movement. And it was, for those of us who were there, it was a very special time of sharing. We are planning again to hold the August meeting outside in the park. We were at first planning to hold it this Friday, so tomorrow. However, because of some of our co-collaborators being unable to attend, and hearing that some of the others were also unable to make it, we have moved that session to the end of August. So the last Friday in August, I believe that's August the 28th, we are going to be meeting at 11:30, 11:45 at Pierce Estate Park. We will be over, so when you come into the park, we will be in the southeast corner of the park. You will see us set up there. There will be lawn chairs. So we ask you, when you do come, to bring a lawn chair, and your lunch. And Tina will be sharing a children's book with us that has some beautiful stories of having faith, and just being open to the beauty and the messages that are out there for us, and connecting to spirit. We will, and then in September, we are considering moving our monthly luncheons to the second Friday of every month, because the first Friday, it seems that we have to sometimes reschedule because of holidays. So Labor Day, New Year's Day, um, the August long weekend, the July 1st. It usually, there is conflicting times and schedules, and a lot of people aren't able to make it because of those holidays. So we felt that by doing it on the second Friday, there was the only holiday that we seem to have any kind of issue with would be Thanksgiving, and because the Thanksgiving is on the Monday, if we, our luncheons are on Friday, and so people, if they go away, would usually be going away at the end of the workday on Friday, and then having the Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So we felt that it's not going to have as much. Oh, are you here?
I'm here. Hang on.
Yay! Hi, Dina.
I was messaging you to find out whether or not you got through okay.
Yes. Well, we are live right now. So, yes, I just have to find out what happened to Amika and if she can switch us over. Let me see where she is, because I don't know why. There you are. There you are. Sorry.
Oh dear, and here I am. I was outside in the wind and my hair is all askew, and yes, I was going to be dressed a little more professionally with my jacket, but here I am. This is the real me.
That's okay. I like the authentic you. I like the real you, Tina. So,
well, thank you. So no, I do
I've
too.
been telling the people about some of our speakers that we've had on, some of the community members, the spectrum of them, and then discussing the August luncheon and to what people, if they come, can expect and where it's going to be located.
Ah, very good.
So in August, we will be, so you mentioned that you will be reading from a children's book.
Yes, it's a children's book, but it has a strong spiritual message that appeals to children of all ages. And we all have an inner child, and there's something about story time that's really kind of fun. And it, like I said, it's a spiritual message that will appeal to everyone. And it's not a long story, but long enough that it's interesting. And it will be just a fun, something different. We've not taken this kind of approach before.
Right.
And the picnics have been different from the standard luncheons that we were doing in the restaurant anyway.
Yes.
So it's each one has been different and had a very different flair. And so we thought, well, let's just keep going with the different theme and
Yes.
see what comes forward.
And then in September, we are looking at doing it the second Friday of the month. And I was explaining why we were changing it from the first Friday to the second Friday due to the holidays, the stat holidays that seem to always fall at the beginning of the month.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people make it an extended long weekend, or for us, I know I find that suddenly you turn the calendar page and, oh, the luncheon is this Friday, right? So that extra week just gives everybody an opportunity to be in that space and ready for it, if you will.
So we are planning, whether allowing, to still have it in the park, correct?
Correct. Weather allowing.
They're allowing. And we will have speakers on our September luncheon.
Yes.
Is what our plan is as well, right? We're going to get back into the regular scheduling in the way of having 1 to 2 speakers, well, preferably 2 speakers at each luncheon.
Yes. Yes. And if we need to be in a space of, well, we're going to have to do it online as a broadcast because the weather is too inclement, then that's what we'll do. We had to do that with our, was it May or
Mhm.
June? I can't remember now. I've lost
I
track.
think it was the May one where the
Yeah,
weather just was not cooperating.
right. Yeah. And so we ended up taking that into our live broadcast. So we'll do that again if we need to.
If
But
we need to.
September,
However, we're going to put out that intention that the weather is going to be beautiful.
yes, yes, we will put that intention. And considering we had such a late start for our spring and summer season, it's quite possible that it'll run later into September.
The way that the heat of this summer, it feels like be it will be a it will be a that warm autumn that we I remember from as a youth just loving, like being out at Halloween. It is still so warm out that you don't need to be dressed up in your winter clothes in order to go out trick or treating.
Yeah, yeah, we can certainly hope for that. That's for sure. So I don't know if anybody's watching the show live, but if they are, we can certainly take any questions that people have about spiritual networking YYC. Um, why would you want to? Why would you want to come out to an event? Did you address that question?
I was starting to. I discussed some of the opportunity to be able to be with like-minded people who who can maybe be as like the topics that are discussed can sometimes be for those who are not into the spiritual may seem a little out there, but for those of us who are open to all the possibilities that spirit provides us, that we are much more open and accepting and willing to and ready to discuss and find out more. So
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And some of them are not so out there.
no, they
You know,
aren't.
so there's a little bit middle of the road, but the idea is that we create an environment where people will feel comfortable with sharing anything that they might think is considered out there in the regular world, if you will. So that it's about creating a very safe and sacred space
Yes.
for people to share what's really in their heart. And myself being a messenger of the heart, that's an important thing for people to be able to speak what's truly in their heart, not be censoring constantly with the
Yes.
mind. Yeah.
That is so true. And um, I was also wanting to let people know about our Taste of Services event that we're going to have coming up again in December so that they can start planning for it.
Yes, it's a fun and well-loved event. We have a sampling of service providers who might do things like we had a numerologist do little mini numerology readings. I did little mini healing sessions with sound tools like singing bowls, tuning forks. We had someone else just do intuitive readings. There can be all sorts of interesting possibilities that crop up. And then
Depending
we
on the service providers who want to be part of this again. Yes.
Yes. And then there's the product providers, so people who have a physical, tangible product to sell,
Mhm.
whether it's a book or handmade jewelry, or we had um, Tanya who made the meditation mats. Her and her mom make these beautiful meditation mats for people to sit on and create their sacred space. They imbue them with beautiful energy. There are lots of interesting and different items, and we do it in December because it's a possibility for Christmas shopping.
That's
Right?
right. That's right. As well as some of the service providers giving us or providing gift certificates that can be purchased so that you can give them as gifts to loved ones or even for yourself once the craziness of the Christmas season is over and you go, oh, I could really use whatever modality, whatever service spoke to you, that
Mhm.
you have that opportunity to have a longer session with them.
Yes.
So there's that opportunity as well. And yes, I love the part about the taste of services is that there are some there that I have never tried. And so it's like
Mhm.
for you pay $5 and you get 10 minutes of spending time with different providers and finding out, oh, this is what, that it's like, uh, was Celine was doing the intuitive readings, right? Or was it I believe it was the intuitive readings or the medium and giving and so giving people insights into
Mhm.
um into what she does and then um and I never got to because I was one of the people and having to keep things on track. I never got the opportunity to try anything. And so this year I'm hoping to that we can switch things around a little bit so that there's more people working the tables or that there's a bit of a rotation so that I can give my, try some of these services that are provided because there's some really beautiful ones there and that for $5 like why not give it a
Yeah.
try, see what it's like, what it's about, and if it resonates with you it's like, oh, bonus.
Which is a nice lead into volunteerism and the role that that plays within the spiritual networking YYC luncheons.
Yes.
People who had the opportunity to experience services or purchase products before or were product providers or service providers in the past, perhaps they want to step into the role of a volunteer where we're connecting, welcoming everyone who's there, keeping the flow of people moving so that they're sticking to their 10-minute time slot so that we can have as many people experiencing these things as possible. And there is anyone who volunteers knows that there is so much reward that comes from being in that position of being in service to people. And it's the fabric of our Canadian society. I don't know if people know this, but in European companies, countries, and countries like Australia, volunteerism does not exist. I
Really?
remember I remember, and maybe it does a bit now, I don't know, but I remember the first time my husband and I went to Australia. It was back in the late 80s, early 90s, something like that. And we went to visit some folks that had been in Canada visiting with us at a
Hmm.
previous occasion. And when they said, "What? Really? You work for nothing? For no money?" Like, well, no, we don't work for nothing. We work for the great reward of the experience that we
Hmm.
gain and, just an opportunity. We would explain things like, well, the opera, for example, they need people to work seating people, welcoming at the door, taking tickets, and in exchange for doing that, you get to watch the opera for free.
Yeah.
So there is this wonderful energy exchange that happens.
Yeah. And it's
And
also um spirit asks us to do giveaways because without giveaways many things do not to go and happen in this world. And So by doing that, we are being of service. We are being of service to organizations that do not have the financial capability of having that number of employees. Whether it be our Calgary Stampede and the number of volunteers that they need in order to make their event a successful event, to the arts that we have, the Arts Common, or like I said, the opera, to events, sporting events like Spruce Meadows. They have a large number of volunteers that they have there, the Pegasus group. To I know I also volunteer with the Strathmore Stampede and helping in their 50/50 booth. And for them, they are probably 95% volunteers. That's just like the number of paid people at the Strathmore Stampede is limited to maybe about 10 people tops. And all the rest of the people that you see working there are all volunteers.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really, like I said, it's kind of the fabric of our society. It's a case of people giving back, of serving one another, of gaining experience, of doing something fun and different just for a change.
Being part
There,
of the community.
yes, yes,
Right?
yeah. Community is important, and community is something that has been falling by the wayside in our online society and our high tech world. When you think about how, at least I know when we were kids, everything was done in community. Girl Guides, Boy Scouts, all those organizations, um, community of parents volunteering to keep these kids having experiences where they got to learn and grow and go camping and do all sorts of neat things. Um, Fundraisers for the schools. There is this sense of camaraderie and of being together. And most spiritual centers or churches operate with a volunteer base to keep everything happening that needs to happen, to keep people coming together and experiencing things. So it's important, and we want to keep it alive.
Yes. And so with our spiritual networking YYC community, our community members are those volunteers. We really treasure them. It's like, oh, thank you so much for stepping up and wanting to help us to ensure that the each event or each luncheon is that the people who come feel recognized, feel seen, acknowledged, and welcome to our group. Like they are our greeters. Like when from the time that we have people come in, our volunteers are there greeting them and welcoming them to our luncheons.
Mm,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. It's good. It's good to be part of the collaborative that brings people together in this way.
Yes. So we are hoping to be back at China Rose once the weather starts getting a little colder. Is this our goal, our plan?
Well, our goal is certainly to land somewhere. Um, I've been attempting to be in contact with the China Rose and getting no return calls. So I don't know if they've are still temporary doors closed, or if this whole circumstance has hit them hard enough that they've permanently closed their doors. I haven't actually driven by the restaurant to see what the status is. I know it's been a challenging time. It's been a challenging time for a lot of businesses, but especially people in hospitality industries, whether you're a hotel or a restaurant. The margins, the profit margins in those industries are so small that you really can't afford to function with 50% capacity. To have half your seats filled doesn't pay the rent, doesn't pay the staff, the food, everything, the overhead that's involved. So,
So we
yeah,
may end up being either looking for a new location or being on Zoom for a while until a location opens up.
we may. We certainly may. And, this is where we're open to feedback from people. Uh, I don't know if you mentioned our Facebook group, Spiritual Networking YYC group. You have to actually ask to become a member of the group so that we can have open conversations. And posting ideas about where we could start to reconvene again when we're able to meet in person, how we might go about that, whether or not the format needs to shift at all. This is a collaborative community organization, community experiences that we're creating. So we want feedback from the community.
That's right.
Um,
And if we do need to be on Zoom for a while, maybe suggestions as to where we could do the December Taste of Services, because we will need a space, a physical space for that. And I would love to be able to connect physically, which is what we've been enjoying with our luncheons in the park, is we are getting to see other members of our community again that we haven't seen for, what was it, 3 4 months, 5 months,
mm,
that we were isolated. So this, just having that chance is very, it's necessary. I really feel like I love our Taste of Services events,
mhm,
having that chance to, while people are in trying the services, you get to network with other people. Like, you have more time to network, more time to visit, more time to find out how our other SNYYC family is doing and what's been happening over the months that we have been quarantined or in social isolation.
mhm.
To actually see them face to face and find out how they are is,
Yes, yes.
because we have members who have come to every luncheon, and we've built up that connection with them. And so, yes, it's I feel that being the opportunity to see them again physically is is something that we really need to strive to do that again, to be connected when it is safe. I understand the motivation there for people, their desire to be safe, um, and to know that they do not have to worry about connecting up with us. However, I do miss that physical contact, or at least to be able to see them face to face, to be able to talk to them face to face and feel that energy.
The June and July picnics in the park were so fabulous for that. And that for a lot of people, it was the first time they were seeing people from the community or seeing anyone for that matter. And it was heartwarming to see people do air hugs,
Yes.
standing here and going air hug. And
And then dancing around, Sandy, Judy, both of them getting us up, moving, dancing. It was a lot of fun.
absolutely, absolutely. And the month before, I led a couple of Mia numbers, so we did some semi choreographed dance and just had an opportunity to get our bodies moving, to experience a little more joy, because there's absolutely no doubt we're not meant to sit around. The human body is intended to move. And
Hmm. Hmm.
that phrase, if you don't move it, you'll lose it, is so
Yeah.
true. So yeah, I would like to see movement become a regular part of what we do, even when we do move indoors. Even if it's just to do a little 3-minute activity, like everybody, even a minute activity where everyone stands up and does this like shake like a leaf on a tree, shake it all out, let go you don't want, get those organs massaged through that little through that little shaking vibration.
Right, right.
And you feel more alert, more awake, because you get the blood circulating through your body, and everybody can be more attentive for the speakers. And there's all sorts of great benefits. So, in some ways, there have been some gifts from this whole isolation realm, in that it's allowed for creativity. I mean, we certainly had to get creative with the idea of bringing the luncheons into a park environment. And I think it just has given us opportunities to do things a little bit differently.
It's given us opportunities to be flexible,
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
be open to the moment, to be open to what is out there and what may just flow in at that particular time. And yes, I like that very much.
Yes. Yes. So I'm noticing the time here.
Yes, yes. We need to wrap this up, and we ask that any of our SNYYC family community that is listening in, if they could give us some feedback on um, the scheduling change and possible new locations if China Rose is not going to be open for business any longer. And for those who in the Calgary area would like to join our networking group, we would love if you would connect with us on on Facebook, Spiritual Networking YYC group. Ask to join our group and answer some of the questions that we have,
Mhm.
that the information that we need, and we would look forward to seeing you, whether it's in the park, on Zoom, in person. It would be very lovely. Yes.
Yes, it would. It definitely would. And for the record, what we did for the first 2 months, we did not actually use Zoom. What we did was use the StreamYard platform to do a very professional broadcast. So for those who are kind of tired of the Zoom thing, and tired of the mouth and the the audio being out of sync, or people getting dropped off, all of those things, we found that using that platform was a little more stable, much more secure, although Zoom has worked really hard at bringing up their security. So that's probably a non-issue now. Um, but I think we may continue to move forward in that way. But again, open to feedback from everyone as to what works best.
Yes. Yes. So thank you very much, Tina, for joining me today.
Sorry about being a little bit late.
You gave me the opportunity to practice ad-libbing.
Beautiful. What a gift.
Yes. So thank you very much for joining us today. If you miss parts of this podcast, you can find it at wavesofki podcast. It will also be coming back up on our the Waves of Key Facebook page, and I will also be sharing it onto this particular episode onto our Spiritual Networking YYC group
And maybe
Facebook
even
page.
even our spiritual networking YYC page, because we actually have a page as well as a group, if we put it there as well. For those who aren't yet a member of the group, can still get some exposure to this podcast that way.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye, everybody. Big, big hugs, everybody, for this coming week. And we'll see you again next week at that time. My guest will be Vicki McKinnon, and she's got your number.